Joining me to discuss this is security analyst Roy Ohidiebe and co-founder Amotekun and convener coalition of Oodua self-determination groups, Razak Ulukoba. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. I believe that we have been following developments across the Southwest states as well as the meeting where stakeholders sat to resolve the crisis between herders, farmers, and even the government yesterday, and certain resolutions were reached to ensure that there was a lasting solution found to this crisis that has been on for years now. And when you look closely at these resolutions reached, the question on the minds of a lot of Nigerians is, how far will this go to stem the tide? How far will this go to address these issues that has lingered on for quite some time now? Let me start with you, Roy.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I've looked at the series of meetings that we keep having, okay? And by your closing remark, you predicted that there is a lasting solution. There is no lasting solution. All these meetings will continue. People will continue to die by what I'm seeing right now.
How so? Why
now,
so?
because when you have the National Assembly to make laws, you have the Senate to make laws. An executive order, what's the lifespan of an executive order? What I expect that they should do is to identify culprits and penalize them. If you don't identify culprits and penalize them, I don't have any issues with what we are doing in the West. My grandmother is an Ijebu woman. My mother is a Fulani woman. My dad is a Do. So I am a complete mixed up Nigerian. And I served in the military. So you can see where my position is. Let me tell you something. If we know that this is a lingering issue for the past 30 years,
right,
and a government is coming on board, what were your takeaways when you were planning to take over governance? What were your predictions, your plans, your postulations to nip in the bud insecurity situations? Right now, what I should be expecting before the hula baloo is that an underground process would have been taking place. Those forest reserves, wherever, whatever, would have seen exactly who and why is turning up the insecurity. Is it a tribal issue, religious issue, whatever ethnic issue it is? Then we will be identifying such persons and putting the law against them in view of extracting penalties.
But that is what all of this is seemingly trying to address.
We are addressing. You are not dressed to address. When you want to address something, you should have done an underground investigation. All that we are seeing now is just the body language of government trying to calm down situations. You are calming down situations. You are not removing the embers that cause the flame.
All right, we'll come to what the embers are that has to be removed. But let's get Razak Ulukoba's perspective or reaction to what he's just said.
One of the governors said that the world is not waiting for us. You know, we are combating the major crisis in the world, which is COVID-19. But this insecurity seems to have taken our attention away from it. And it's a danger to the nation. SouthWest seems to be the last man standing in terms of the region that is having security issues. There's a peculiar piece in the Southwest, and if it is ruptured, that's a big problem for Nigeria. You should, like we have always been saying, that there's a need to onboarding Nigeria itself on its own. The pressure on the federal government is much. There's nowhere in the world where you run nations the way you run Nigeria. And that's what brings us to the issue of state police. Our police are doing their best. Look at the way the commissioner of Oyo has handled the Igboho case.
Yeah.
If it had been another commissioner of police, it would have escalated. But he quickly ran the Fulani, the Yoruba community, instead of solving it with gun. And that's the peculiarity we are talking about state police. In every location you find yourself, there's a peculiar history of insecurity in that area that is only the people in that area that will understand that peculiarity. And that is been the major problem we have in this country. Boko Haram was mismanaged. The Elders issue was mismanaged. Nasarawa was mismanaged because there are people who manage the security of that area that don't understand the terrain. And that has been our concern. Just like what you have said. They might not have done something that is sufficient for as far as Nigerians are concerned, but at least they are making steps. But beyond that, what we should be looking at is the entire system. Me, I'm a supporter of the Buhari government, but the reason why they are not looking at why, since 1999, the system we run today kept failing us, why they are not considering that, is a concern to me. The way we run Nigeria today, we have warned that a time is coming when an ethnic group will be taking another ethnic group as being responsible for the calamity and woes that is passing through because of the way Nigeria is structured, where you put everything in the hand of one man. It's only in Nigeria that previous presidents are always praised, and the current one is a villain. You say, Batonjo was an hero when Yar'Adua came on board. Yar'Adua left only for us to start blaming Jonathan again, that Yar'Adua was better. Now we are saying Jonathan was an hero. It's only in Nigeria that you see things like that. And that what comes to your mind is that our country is not properly run. What we need, that we are taking away from what you have been saying all this while, is that what the governors are doing is a picture of what we have been recommending, what they did in Ondo State. That there's a need for us to re-examine our togetherness. I don't have a problem that we are together as a nation in Nigeria. I don't have a problem with that. But there must be understanding that if you are coming to my territory, there's a particular way that you must behave.
Rules and regulations must adhere to.
Adhere to. In the Southwest, in the North, in the Southeast. But we run a nation where people say that you can't be talking about identity. All over the world is about identity. In the Queen of England, as powerful as it is today, it was until she recognized the existence of the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish. That was when they started having peace. If we don't recognize the identity, I can't live my life outside Yoruba culture. I can't. But if you run a nation where you say that I can't talk about my culture, mostly, no, don't discuss religion here. No, don't discuss Hausa Fulani issue here. Don't discuss. We can't get it. Let us understand that we are a nation, but we have,
respect our
culture. And that has been the problem we are having in the Southwest now. There's been that friction now. There's been that friction now with the new people that are coming in, people that were in the Southwest before, and they strictly to the way they run things in the Southwest. And that was why you heard them say that I've been here for 60 years. I don't even know that how to speak Fufude again. They are there to the culture of the Yoruba people. But the new guys that are coming on board, the violence that has been coming from Niger, because the entire Africa is in crisis.
So you agree that there are infiltrations?
Infiltration of people that are coming in. And there are blames that must apportion. The northern leaders didn't do well enough. Because
how do you mean?
If you are fond of wearing red clothes, and someone that is wearing red clothes somewhere is committing crime, it is your duty and my duty as someone that wear red clothes to quickly support how we are going to nip it in the bud. Our northern leaders should pay the role they are playing now. Way back, cautioning their people that you cannot give a bad impression to our own ethnic group. You are a criminal not because you are a Fulani man, but because you are a criminal. So if you hear things like this, it's going to be an inspiration for being in the Southwest. As a check, and people will appreciate it. What they are doing now should have been done earlier than now.
But now that
now they have started now. We have to rally around. We don't have any nation than Nigeria, and we must not. No nation will accommodate your crimes. That is why Nigeria's case is always on the front burner. God forbid, but the Republic, we are going to eat the entire budget for 1 week as a lunch if anything happens to Nigeria. So that is why we must manage ourselves very well. We must understand that every nation has its own problem. No international come to Nigeria to solve our problem.
All right.
We must solve our own problem by our own.
Let me get back to Roy, because he mentioned something which is also key to perhaps solving our problem. Talking about removing the embers causing this flame that we are seeing. What are these embers and how do we remove them?
Okay, thank you very much. You know, last time I told you, I said when the military regime was on, there was acute bastardization. Nobody can speak. They lock you up. So Nadeco came up and so many other bodies came up. They were locked up and beaten. Now, when these guys, this set of people, young men, now got democracy, they adopted that oppression nature to take over democracy. And they found themselves brutalizing any opponent instead of intellectually intimidating an opponent. So this set of people comes up And the only way they can do that is to raise their own armies. So before we knew what was happening in the north, in the east, in the west, every key political head needed to groom his own armies to snatch ballot boxes, to do whatever they want to do to win an election. So the judiciary became oppressed. Now, once you oppress the judiciary, it's because those in power want to be the judiciary. And that is part of what he's saying, that we are ruling one-man government in Nigeria. So once anybody is in power, he wants to be the judiciary. So where we are now is there is no law that can be used against anybody if it is not endorsed in Abuja, if it is not endorsed in the executive. Now you will cease out of court settlement. People commit crime and they come and say we want to settle out of court. They return monies they have stolen and all that. One other area to look at the embers is the unpoliced areas. Those reserves we are talking about, those forest regions. My friend here said there are people that have lived 60 years, 70 years. My dad went to the north. He worked there, met my mother, and he married her as a Fulani woman. So his mother is also a Jebu. So what are we saying? When people cohabit and respect the tradition they meet on ground, definitely there will be synergy and cohabitation, safe cohabitation. Now, when people that are criminal elements from Yoruba, and they are coming to the north, and they are Yoruba guys, the first detection level will be fellow Yoruba guys, that we know that, this one are real, this guy that is coming. Now, do you disseminate that intelligence to the agencies that are supposed to nip their activities at the board? When Hausa Fulanis go to the west and they start to enter into secret places like the forest reserves, they will come to town to ask for food, to ask for their colleagues, those ones that identify them. These people sitting down talking now, did they escalate that we have criminal Fulani elements coming into XYZ
now,
zone?
We cannot really narrow them down to a particular tribe. Now, we know them as
we
criminals.
have said Yorubas in the north,
yes.
Even in the east. If a Yoruba guy goes to the east and is a criminal element, it's easier for a Yoruba man in the east to identify him before an Igbo man. So that Yoruba catchment, everywhere we are as a tribe in Nigeria, once we see criminal elements from our tribe, we should not hide them. We should present them before the law. We should go to the agencies and say, these guys coming in here are only here to perpetrate kidnapping, terrorism, banditry. Please come and take them away. So once we keep hiding them because of one reason or the other, then we cannot fight this. How do you now make them to be able to report? Where is the trust and the worthiness to report? Which agency will you trust to report criminal elements and expect that they will take them away and justice will be done? Except those people come back. You have heard of reprisal attacks.
Absolutely.
Those people come back and say you are the one that went to report us. And they burn down that community, rape their people. Another community will be shy. Instead, they start paying taxes. Before you know, Nigerians are paying taxes to the government. We are paying taxes to bandits, terrorists, and we are paying taxes to any kind of area boy or anybody where you park your car. Anywhere in Nigeria, north, south, east, west. In Lagos here, you are driving, an area boy will flag you down, you pay tax as a bus driver or anything you are. So once we don't have this opportunity to define the role of government and to see the effectiveness of government, we are in the hands of bandits.
So obviously what the governors were trying to do was to show the effectiveness of government at addressing.
Once they rise from such meetings, they're supposed to communicate that to the National Assembly or state or national to make it law.
Right.
And they must look for scapegoats to immediately show the right body language, especially scapegoats that you think nobody can touch. So those kind of things, once you commit a crime, you face the law, everybody is seeing it, then it's a deterrent.
Because they have said that no one, whether your tribe, your whatever you are, your status in government, if you are found culpable, you'll be brought to book. That is what they have agreed. They have also said that security agencies are trying their best, but have to be strengthened, especially those gaps that we see, ensuring that it is covered up. And that was one of the reasons Amotekun came up.
Yes, and you see, what the Commissioner of Police in Oyo has done is similar to what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You must create a template for people to come and speak out. If you are not assured that your life is safe,
After speaking,
you will not hear anything from the people. Because in the rest of the world, the best intelligence is from the unconventional officers, the old women, the people. So, but there are assurance that your life is not in danger if you do so. Other commissioners should emulate that. And you see, after Sunday Igboho's rally, the way Nigerian police will have reacted 20 years ago, when about the class shoot aside on OPC, Okiro started shooting OPC members. But after the rally in Oyo State, the woman, instead of carrying gun and started, he created a template, and people speak out. And they are working on that now. That no, these people actually said that they have been living here for 60 years. And that you can't understand. It's in the paper today.
Right. And
they said that it's not me. But like I said, that kind of thing should have been coming up before. But there was no assurance. So when you have commissioners like that that are doing that, see,
trying to build trust with the people.
With the people, and that assurance that if you say what the discussion that held that day today, they were understanding that of course we know you are a peaceful man, but there are people that are coming. Why are you not speaking out? Because I'm scared. Now don't be scared again. Talk to the people. That's on one side. Then the federal government should remove the fear from the mind of every Nigerian that there's the need for people to be given the power to secure themselves. That's how it is in the world. You can't have one police structure in Nigeria to secure the entire Nigeria. The burden on Nigerian police is too much. They want to control traffic on that bridge in Ikeja. Your wife and husband is fighting, it's Nigerian police. Somebody starts it's Nigerian police. That burden is too much. That's why we have Amotekun.
Yes, that is where I want you to address. Now there has been talks about inculcating or incorporating the members of MACBAN to help, identify people who are perhaps criminal elements and also address these issues. I wonder what you make of that and how would that address these issues that we have seen rising over time? Yeah,
you see, the creation of Amotekun is not going to get perfection in a day. There are stories about limitation. It's not security.
And extrajudicial killings.
The security is not an error-free process.
Right.
I want out to have that, but it's not an excuse for them to continue misbehaving. That's why I talk about the fear of the federal government. There are legislative ingredients that is required to make Amotekun function very well. That federal government should cede that legislative power to governors to be able to, even on economy. You have to liberalize the economy of the state. Give state governors the power to control their economy. You cannot be the one sponsoring 36 states of the federation as a federal government. It's a big body. Allow them to generate money, let them control their resources, including the security. Let them assist the federal police. Give Amotekun a semblance of more power to be able to train themselves, to be able to arm them, to pursue small criminals, not terrorists, not Amotekun is not.
So that is why we are not unable to achieve a lot.
To achieve a lot. So there's that legislation that is still on board. They must be defined. This is a federal.
So how about incorporating members of MACBAN now to help at addressing these issues? Intelligence
has no bound. Right. You can employ a meat seller. You can employ a petrol attendant. And that's what police use all over the world. For organizers on the road, because if you snatch a car, you must buy fuel. You must. So if they introduce them into there will be a background check. If you introduce them into the intelligence network, there's nothing wrong in it. But like I've said, there must be that resolve among all of us that we want peace. If there's that resolve, the question of where I come from, someone lives 60 years in the Southwest. What is he going to do take in the North again? So the earlier we recognize that this is my land, not North again, the better for all of us. If a Yoruba man is living in the North and is still thinking of one ethnic attachment to Oyo State, he's wasting his time. He better makes Oyo the Kano work. The Hausa man, the Igbo man living in Yoruba land is thinking one ethnic attachment to Anambra State. Instead of you to make Lagos work, that orientation is important for all of us, that where you are living, there's a need for you to recognize the need. That's why the question of where you come from is removed in the word. Where you come from. They say, no, it's going to give you a double loyalty and patriotism. Where you are born, have it at the back of mind that that's all you are going to say. You are going to put your all in it. So there's a need for us to also have that orientation that all of us living in any part of the country. That attachment you must have must be forced to that place that you are living. If there's not such attachment, anything you do to support, you will see someone that come from Utajalo. But because he's a Fulani, I'm a Fulani, or come from the Republic. Because a Yoruba man, I'm a Yoruba man, it's not community crime, I will not want to talk. The earlier we detach ourselves from that, the better. Then the governors must do more of what they are doing now. The taxpayers' money must not be used to also only do management only. It's to also judge governors from the south, from the east, from the north must judge. It's not only about my region or your region. I like what they did in Ondo yesterday, and we need more and more and more of it. And they need to go and use that to engage Mr. President. That
as quickly as possible,
more power to the state. It's not because we don't want you to be in control again. No, it's not because you are saying that the federal police know how to shoot gun. No, but because there's the need for the local people, the ordinary Nigerian, to be able to have a semblance of capacity to defend themselves. And that's why the Republicans say that there must be casualty on both sides. If a thief comes to my house, empower me to also have my own gun, so that it's not nobody will be around. That's the campaign of the Republicans, and that kind of campaign also need it in Nigeria. That not that everybody should have a gun, but the state, the people must have a capacity to also defend them. Not that you'll be waiting for federal police, that the budget is strained, they don't have vehicle. Governors keep supporting the local police officer recruited from that area who understand that terrain and the issue of that area. Everything is not about gun.
And it will help the people trust them more, the better moving forward. Now, there has been calls that members of the Cattle Breeders Association should embrace modern breeding and creating grazing reserves and also practice ranching. I wonder how you see, if you see them embracing that, because this movement has become a lifestyle, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for those comments. Now, if you look at farming as an economic process to help the economy of a country, if you look at cattle rearing as an economic process, then you will ask yourself, what is the Ministry of Agric? What is its role?
Quickly.
What is their role to put in place enabling environment that is dynamic with global change, global practice, to make every business a commensurate atmosphere for everybody to live in?
Perhaps we have to leave that question for them. It will be something to ponder about, I guess so. But we must thank you, security analyst Roy Ohidieve, and co-founder Amotekun and convener Coalition of Udua Self-Determination Group, Siraza Kulukoba, for your time.
Thank you,
gentlemen.
much.